Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Smith Falls Equity for All Committee for Thursday, June 4th, 2026. I'll open with our land acknowledgement. On June 4th, 2026, we acknowledge that the sacred land in which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years in its rich and indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We're grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in making up Freedom Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We're mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, and drawing on the strength of our regional history of nation building through peace and friendship, and be mindful of generations to come. I'll call the meeting to order at 9:08. For approval of the agenda, motion for approval from Diana, second by Janet. All in favor? Carried. Adoption of minutes, moved by Ellie, second by Lewis. All in favor? Over there. Disclosure monetary interest. Seeing none. We have no obligations today. We do have a number of priority issues. We'll defer priority one, Repair Cafe, to put it at the bottom of the agenda so that Katie is able to make it today. And I'll move ahead with some working group updates. So we'll talk first about the food security group. We last met on April 9th. We had a really broad discussion on little free pantries and community gardens. And I think we'd hoped there might have been a possibility of enough organization to create a community garden, but the clock was ticking and we were able to pull everything together on that front for this year. But when it came to the little free pantries, we had a lot of encouraging discussion. They're very simple to build and install. They're ideally, they'd be at the right locations in town. So that approach, it's like this little free library, same type of thing. There'd be a structure somewhere, but the key thing would be having a group or an organization or individual or business who would commit to looking after it. And which would mean checking it daily, making sure there's no perishable food that's going waste in there, making sure that it's cleaned. And it is that give what you can, take what you want approach. So the committee working group was very supportive of this. So I took it to committee of the whole. Subsequent to that meeting, staff are currently working on a framework to provide an agreement with anyone who wants to do it. Plus, if there's a desire to put one on town land, how that would be organized, what type of agreement would be needed for that. Since that time, I've had a number of people reach out, very eager to build one, open one, manage one, including in an organization and a business, two businesses. So I think there's a good opportunity for this in the community. It's simply a matter of waiting for it to come back to council. And my understanding is coming back later in June. So it's not a solution to food security, certainly, but it's a resource that can help keep people fed. And whether it's snacks, non-perishable snacks, maybe personal items that may be hard for people to get to at times, non-perishable foods. The challenge with non-perishable foods would simply be the canned goods and stuff like that. It may not be useful for everybody, but if it's convenient, grab and go type of stuff, that might be handy as well. Would need to be checked on a daily basis. So I can see that coming together in the near future. Peter?
Do you know if a private citizen has to have town permission to do it? They could just go ahead and do it.
Correct. It's not private property. People can do what they want.
Yeah. And there's examples online if people want to know the size and how to do it. There's lots of them. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually diagrams with plans how to build one. So I think it's really a matter of trying to provide some guidance to people who want to put one on their property.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions?
Will there be something on like town website that would say here are the dimensions and here's
I think eventually that'd be easy to.
Well, so someone can just click it and print the plans. Then they all kind of look the same and it's more familiar.
Good point. Okay. Jan, do you have an update from the Falls Food Hub?
Yes, exciting things for the Fall Food Hub. We're still serving 90 to 100 people on Mondays. We're going to be switching to our new place hopefully this summer. There's been a few delays. There's been a delay in the roof structure installation, but the other delays were out of our hands. They repaved, so the workers couldn't get in, and then there was some plumbing issues in the building, so the workers couldn't get in. But the framing is complete. The drywall is 97% complete. The electrical's complete. The gas meter is complete. I'm just waiting for the final collection. The painting's final connection. Painting's supposed to start this week, and the plumbing is complete. So just baseboards, trim, painting. The final touches on the accessible washroom, doing the office space, kitchen backsplash, order the equipment, and install it. So it's getting close. It's very exciting.
Nice. Peter?
Will the Monday still stay at Hanley Hall when we switch over to the?
For a little bit, just till we can get in there, and because it's a much smaller space and we don't want to be tripping over each other. We also have to figure out how we're going to manage going from serving 100 to seating 50. So we'll work on that. And but we should have the Mondays switched over this summer. I'm not sure if it's going to be August or the end, but it will be switched over, and then
Transition period, just to.
Yeah, and then hopefully once we get on a roll, we're hoping in the fall maybe later to add a supper on a Tuesday. So that will allow people to get a Monday lunch, a Tuesday supper, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the table for supper. Wednesday has bag lunches, so there'll be quite a few meals throughout the week for people to have.
Any other questions?
And you're still open to donations to help with the renovation?
Oh, we are always open for donations for the renovations.
Well, renovations and also programming.
And programming, yeah, because we want to put a yoga class in there. We want to run cooking classes. So there's lots of programming that we plan on doing, and they all take funding and donations.
And they're very efficient with the cost of meals. I think most meals are produced for under $4.
Yeah,
And
supper will be a little more expensive because we'll have to increase the size because it is a supper. But yeah, I would say that we're going to stay under the $5 mark per plate. So when somebody donates $20, that feeds 4 people right there. So a minimal donation has a big impact.
Thank you. Any further questions? And then just on the heels of that, Ellie and I, along with Ashley from the Food Hub, along with Senator Kim Pate and Sheila Gear from Basic Income Canada, on a panel 2 weeks ago, I guess, roughly. 2 weeks ago, I think it was. The Falls Food Hub provided a pretty incredible spread of food that night for everyone. But it was an opportunity to talk about some basic income, and very well attended event. And Ellie, thank you for bringing your knowledge, your passion, and your drive for change. Very well done. Okay. Just Ellen, do you know if Carrie provide any update on the website, the brochure, and the poster? Okay. So last, Dana.
The update that I received from Carrie at least 2 weeks ago was that they were being sent to, they were adding the bleeds on the poster to make sure when it went to printing that nothing was cut off. And I was told that Impression Printing has received the poster and the brochure, but I don't know what that means as far as the timeliness of it being printed, and that town staff were working on the website content.
So shouldn't be long. Just for the public who may be paying attention, this is essentially a food security brochure and poster talking about all the places in town, the community meals, where you can go for assistance with your food.
Yeah, and the table for Perth is mentioned as well, just in case anybody has a car, and they provide quite a few meals per week, so it's another great location. And there's also on the website content, at least, easy ways to save, things that we've talked about before, those apps, the Too Good To Go. Thank you. I was like, what's another one called? So yeah, that should be available soon, and I think it's I think it's going to be a really positive town thing to have, because I've been looking at the other municipalities in the county, and I don't see anything else that's similar to this on the other municipal websites.
Very good, and Diana created that, so it'd be nice to see that out and shared. We know that there's a gap between what's available and what people know is available. And so, shortening that gap will make sure more people can access resources that are available. Really?
Sorry, I might have missed it. I know I think it's Smith Falls Lions does a good food box. Is that?
There on it, yeah.
Is that online right now?
Not yet, but it should be, like the content is all prepared. So it's a matter of it actually getting onto the site. So hopefully soon, like hopefully in June, but I'm not sure.
Shouldn't be long, for sure. Anything further on?
Just Peter? Just if we stress for the minutes that just Carrie will read them, that the sooner that happens, the better.
Yes.
Not to put pressure on it, but committee's expecting it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
8 a.m.
Actually tonight.
Okay. Moving on to the Ukrainian Twinning Working Group. Let's start with, so Mark Payne, I think everyone knows Mark, is married to a Ukrainian. He's been in Ukraine a number of times. Retired military. He supports Miria. He's a part of the Miria A team, which is doing demining activities, training Ukrainian military how to do demining. Mark left 2 weeks ago, and I sent him with 2 of these. One that doesn't have anything on the arms that he can wear, and one to give Mayor Rinkiv that has Mayor on one sleeve and Matt, which is Mayor on Ukrainian on the other. So Mark will be in Zolochiv. I'm not sure what the date is. Sometime the next week, I believe. So he'll present one to Mayor Rinkiv, and they'll have opportunity to do a photo and set it back. So Mark's a real key ally with this working group. He's got that connection over there and the knowledge. So it's great to have him sort of represent the community when he's over there. We did a video conference, a Zoom meeting a couple weeks ago, and the needs are pretty broad. They're even when we were there, they've been in shelters most of the day, bomb shelters most of the day. So it's, while the bombs and missiles may not land there on a very frequent basis, there's still that threat. And so people living under that constant worry, and the air raids go off, and you're heading from shelters. They said they hosted a large delegation of community leaders from a city in Poland who came because they're concerned about the war spilling over in Poland, and they wanted to ensure they understood how Zolochiv had responded to creating shelter space for everyone to protect their citizens. So electricity is still very much in short supply. The war in Iran and the constraint on the Strait of Hormuz and the limitation on the world's oil supply has impacted there. They rely on diesel generators a lot, so that's even caused greater challenges. We've talked about needs for fire equipment, especially for firefighters, the medical equipment. The challenge we have is just how would we get there. So I think we have some buffer gear that's available today that we could send over, but there's a cost. So when Mark's back, we'll have a chance to have a conversation to see what can be done, maybe easier, more cost efficiently to get it over there. It's not cost efficient to get a big sea can and get it filled up. It's more efficient to use smaller boxes and send it through the organization, MIST, which is in Ottawa, where we can ship things to them. We did have $150 donated at the dinner recently that we had recently, earlier this year, I guess. That's sort of sitting with the town that could be used to help cover some cost of shipping for anything. Yeah, so they're certainly still they're working on building their new hospital. It's they have a lot of soldiers who are recovering from injuries, so they recognize the need to expand that. They have Linda was able to acquire a number of donated bottles of maple syrup. And so we have them still here. We'll be sending them over. We're probably looking to supplement. There's 25 bottles, I think. So we're going to supplement that and then ship them over there to give them a little taste of Canada.
Yeah.
They are, I guess, maple syrup is rarely available there. If it is, it's very expensive and probably very difficult to acquire. So I'm sure they're going to be deeply appreciated. So Linda, thank you for looking after that.
Are you looking into matching that? Holy cow. You were saying that you're going to see about trying to match the 25.
Yes.
The other
yes,
one.
if we can-
Is there anybody come forward for it?
No, we'll get it done. We'll get it
Okay.
done. Yeah, because I think there were. How much the value of the bottle was it? $5 a bottle, $7 a bottle, or something like that.
Say that again.
The value of each
$150.
or 25, so $6.
That's just a small,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
So we'll get that figured out. They've had, while we're speaking, you mentioned they've had 2 days in a row. They had members of the soldiers who were from the community who've been killed. Again, he has to leave and goes to the front every now and then. He talked with his 2 sons, one who is a drone operator, has a role in defense and also this drone which may have done some damage in Russia. And his other son is in infantry, so it's sort of that constant worry, and you're under a constant state of war. So hopefully some progress will be made there in the near future. Any questions on that initiative? No? Okay. Our workshop.
Sorry.
I'm sure some of you probably were online watching our tenant workshop with Linda Trander from the Legal Clinic in Perth. It was held, I think, early May. Yet, I don't know, I can't gauge the turnout because it also was on Zoom and available on YouTube. But a real strong message, of course, from Linda on trying to make sure that people, again, are aware of their rights. And we continue to hear that people are not. People, unfortunately, are feel pressure from the landlord to move out and tend to do so. There's changes with Bill 50 that gives tenants less time to catch up on rent, so greater risk of being evicted through some provisions of that. So again, the awareness of knowing your rights and knowing that Linda is there, Linda and the team is there to help, very important. Peter?
Have we talked about Bill 50 very much? Because there's also some new protection for tenants in that. It's not just.
Yeah, Linda went through sort of all the details.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
Is it in
Now
that?
that's
Is it in
draft.
anything in the
still.
90 pages
Yes.
about that?
Oh, no.
Finished reading
It's
it.
been
I think
tabled.
yeah. Okay, so update homeless data. Giselle, do you mind putting up the Lander County presentation on the screen, please? So, Councilor McKenna and I serve on the town's representatives at Lander County. We sit on community services and corporate services committees. And so we were there on May 13th when we received an update from staff on the homeless numbers. And this is what they are aware of. These are people who reported being homeless. It probably doesn't capture everyone out there who may be homeless. It wasn't that screen, please, Giselle. So if you look at the numbers here, 2025, 85,000 Ontarians were homeless, and Lander County is 257. But you look at the growth in numbers across the province, it's a slower, steady growth. You look at the spike in Lander County, is that much more concerning. So across 24 to 25, homelessness in Ontario increased 7.8%. Rural Ontario increased 30%, and Lander County increased 37%. From January 25 to January 26, number of people experiencing homelessness in Lander County increased 142%. So more than doubled. Since late 2021, 800 people in Lander County are registered with a by name list. And Elliot, I presume you're probably seeing it with your work. All these people are youth.
Yeah, we're working with it. Like today, we're working with like 61 youth. Obviously, not all of our youth that we work with are currently homeless, but they have moved out of homelessness. So, because we work to support them to end homelessness, but also to maintain their housing. So we're working with about 61 youth, and yeah, there's a mix of youth who are unstably housed and transition housed, and who are outside and who are couch surfing. But yeah, so 61, so quite a high number for June, considering we have a whole couple months to go. And last year we did just over 100 youth we supported. So
Oh, thank you. Next slide, Giselle, please. So it's hard to see in the slide the demographics, but if you look at the pie chart on the right top, Smith Falls represents about half of the homeless population. Now, it's a little bit misleading because Bridge House, which has 21 people living there, are still counted as technically homeless. They don't have permanent housing, it's supportive housing, but so that's 21 off of that number, but still leaves us with the largest segment of the population that are dealing with homelessness. And as you can see, to the left, majority are male, and the age groups certainly a little bit of everything. Very difficult. We see seniors who are homeless, but any age obviously is discouraging. But a lot of 40-year-old, a lot of men in 40s who are facing homelessness. And I don't know if that's consistent with the province, but it's obviously very concerning. Just on the next page, please. So with this, so where are they right now? A lot are couch surfing, as Ellie mentioned. Some are in hotel, others 23 in transitional housing. That's also a very large block. But 18 totally unsheltered. And then you look at the graph below, and you can see the number of months experiencing homelessness over 12 and 36 months actively. So what we're seeing is a lot of people who have been homeless for a long period of time, especially in Smith Falls and, well, I guess Tay Valley as well. Next slide, please. And more of a complex slide, a lot of information on there. 377 in, 324 out. 214 moved to housing. 110 moved to inactive, so I'm not sure. I guess they just maybe moved away or fallen off the list.
yeah, I just can't get a hold of them.
Pardon?
Normally it's like you can't get a hold of them. They've moved to other towns, or they're not answering, or time incarceration, or they've gone to Ottawa or Kingston, or even if they just go to Kemptville, right? Like that would be inactive for us.
Different county. And 12-month average of active homes, 87.8. Next slide, please. So it's all households, chronic households, non-chronic. Moving towards the total. And the next slide is probably the one that's most concerning, is projections. And we see where this trend line is going. And that's probably the most concerning thing we see here is what happens next. And do we see it continuing to rise based on the current trend, or does it start to flatten? I know, Ellie, you have more insight than the rest of us with this, but
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks, like, if you go back to that previous slide, like that non-chronic, right? Like that's rising. And so those are folks who, I think it's starting, I think we're all feeling the housing crisis, but those non-chronic folk are the folk who, are like a lot of us, like we're 1-2 paychecks away, we lose our job, like that puts us right. And so there's a lot of, I think, opportunity for prevention in there. When you look at chronic adult homelessness, I think the numbers are something like, I'm not sure, don't like totally quote me on this, but it's like 85% of chronic adults who are experiencing homelessness chronically first experienced it before the age of 25, and like 47% of them first experienced it before the age of 16. So really trying to get those non-chronic families stabilized, I think, is really long-term the best way to stop the projections of where they're going. But it's, you're not really seeing that lower, middle, upper class anymore. It's just the lower class and the upper class, and so many people are getting more affected by, losing that one paycheck. or losing 2 paychecks or really heavily relying on the food bank. And those sorts of things. So I think, when we're looking long term, that's, obviously we need to support the folks who are experiencing homelessness, but if we want to stop that projection, like that's where we need to be looking at, right, is supporting those non-chronic families to stay housed.
Thank you. And again, we have 21 people are at Bridge House, which, well, it's 23 last year, because a couple moved out, a couple more moved in. But overall, that's a very positive, and we spoke a little bit about the possibility of expanding Bridge House. There is space there, so it was really a matter of, I guess, a decision at the county level. The county is waiting for a significant report of homelessness, which will help guide probably future decisions. That's coming summer.
Yeah, and I think one of the other, like, just to touch on it, because maybe a lot of people don't know, is they've now changed, like, the RGI, so the rent geared income, like what most people would know as social housing, right? So now every 5th person who's on the by name list is being moved into social housing. So, and I think that's like fabulous. I think that's really helping to see folks move from homelessness to transition housing to permanent stable housing, is by really filtering through that RGI unit, and every 5th person who's homeless is getting housed. Which frees up a space in the transition house, which just kind of keeps the continuum moving. Because I think that's a lot of it. You see a lot of seniors are now, the housing continuum just isn't moving, right? Like, even my own mom, like, she lived in a big house. She didn't need that big house, but she couldn't, it cost her more money to move into a smaller house. So, like, why would you? And then, like, I'm in my house, and it's like a starter home, and I couldn't afford to move into the next stage of housing. So it's really trying to work on moving that housing continuum and moving people along through it to get them housed.
Peter?
I did see some recent research. There's no surprise, Banker Mom and Dad, they call it, have been helping forever. But that has gone, the research is showing that it's not just helping their children buy a home, it's to pay the rent or to pay the mortgage. And that number is growing. So they've mitigated the full impact of this. Without those, that legacy wealth being handed down, it could be much, much worse.
Is there a report on the success of Bridge House? Like, is there something written?
We have,
It might be good for the public
It was
to.
a year in July, so people started moving in, and probably a year. So I guess, I haven't seen anything, I'm not sure when we'll see a report.
Okay.
Well, no, it was a year last July, that's right, so almost 2 years into it.
Because it'd be good for the public to see the success rate and how it actually is working.
I know there's some who've been there from early on who are still there, but there's some who have also moved in and transitioned out. But good question, we can check. Peter?
Yeah, and when we talked about that report, Perth is right behind us, like in numbers. So we were encouraging, talking about the success of Bridge House. We're saying this can be replicated, Carle Place or Perth or Mississippi Mills. Like, this is a good thing. And so I know the county are interested in that. And we had a kind of a gift having that building and a decent developer. But it might be a little harder, but it needs to be replicated. It does work.
For sure, yeah. I think they're building, oh no, it's not the same thing. They're building affordable housing in Perth.
It's,
That's different, yeah.
it's good.
Still supported by the county.
Right.
In the housing market, what is the draw to like a multi-generational home? Like, would homeowners buy those if they came onto the market now? Like, to kind of start coming at the problem from the other side, where it's put more generations in homes as opposed to trying to find homes for people, since the parents are already paying rent for their kids' homes anyway.
Yeah.
Would it be worth trying to come at it from the policy wise of building more multi-generational homes in the area?
I think it's happening just sort of as it is, right?
I'm not super into the housing market right now.
Yeah.
Actually, what's big?
Okay, next slide. Now you talk a little bit about this, the youth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My eyes aren't great, so I'm not entirely sure what this is showing me.
They're showing the numbers of
It's
household.
Yeah, and so I think, something that we're seeing a lot more of, I think this is what I think I'm talking about the right thing, excuse me if I'm wrong. What we're seeing a lot more of, is, so we work with youth who are 16 to 24, and we're seeing a lot more of our youth, all of a sudden now get kinship of their younger siblings. And if you have kinship, that means you're not financially supported through Family and Child Services as opposed to like a foster care. So now we have multiple 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are now responsible for their 10, 12-year-old siblings, and the only support that they're getting would be the child benefit, which is obviously a benefit, but because it's now classified under not now classified, but they are classifying it as kinship, they're not getting those financial supports that they would be from like a foster care situation. And so yes, it's great that we're keeping young people with their families, but we're not supporting the young people who are caring for the younger people. And so we're seeing that more and more, which also leads to like an overcrowding issue. So we've had youth who, were 18, 19, 20, 21 in a one bedroom, and now we've got two young siblings with them. And so now, we're very lucky in that we work with some really great landlords and some really great property managers. But they've said, like, I could evict just on the premise of overcrowding now. You're in a one bedroom and you've got three young people living in there. So you're just creating more risk for these young people. And so, it just creates that generational poverty. A lot of people ask, like, what do you see as the main reason for homelessness in, like, your communities? And, anecdotally speaking, I would say it's that generational poverty. It's not being able to get out of it. Like, how can you, when you're 18 years old in a one bedroom caring for two younger people, like, it's impossible to get out of that. Even if you are working full time, like, that's a lot. And then let alone if you're on Ontario Works or ODSP and you're getting clawbacks. So yeah, we're definitely seeing like the 18 and under primary dependent in the house or independent of the house.
And they're pretty much not far past being children themselves.
No, exactly. And it's one of the reasons that, not to, give us a little, toot our horn, but we've started this new mentorship program. Where we're looking for adult volunteers because our young people are looking for adults to support them, and that's really all they're looking for is like to go to coffee with somebody on a Saturday, because they're just needing like a pat on their back because they're getting up, they're getting their siblings to school, they're going to work, they're getting home, they're getting their siblings fed, they're putting them to bed, and then they're sleeping on the couch, and they just like need some community support wrapped around them. Because they're 18. Like, I'm in my 30s and I still call my mom like all the time for help. So like, of course, these young people want help, right? Like, so yeah, it's definitely something we're seeing more and more of, and I get it. Like, a lot of services are overwhelmed, but we're not setting them up for success by any means by doing this.
And so the final piece here is just there's about 85% of the county's homeless are in Carleton Place, Provinces Falls. I guess one thing to acknowledge is that not everyone who's homeless in these communities originated in these communities. We tend to be the draw for the rural areas, and because we're central between Leeds, Grenville, and Lanark, we tend to people come Smith Falls, more broader area, and I guess resources are available in these communities and opportunities may be available to draw people into small urban areas. But regardless, people in Bridgehouse come across the county and live out in our community. Any further questions on homelessness? So the report was received by committee, and then, as I mentioned, org code consultants finalized in the 10-year housing homelessness plan and anticipating high-level outcomes and goals. So we're eagerly waiting that and hoping further action, creating more solutions to ending the homelessness issue. Okay. Pride activities.
Pride.
Exciting times.
Yeah, so our committee was just formed this April, otherwise there wouldn't have been a Pride. So we were working on no time to fundraise and very minimal budget. But we've managed to put together we've got the 6th of June flag raising, thanks to this committee for sponsoring the barbecue. Bring
Too
your
bad.
own.
Hopefully we, if you want to go and volunteer for barbecue, it's like somebody already.
I think
signed up for that.
I think I've got a few for volunteers, but bring your umbrella. It is gonna rain that day. So there'll be like a balloon backdrop in the rain and music, information table for our week of Pride, which is going to be August. That gave us a little bit more time to plan things, so we decided to try to include everyone if we could. So we're going to have a business and home decorating type contest with the $100 DBA bucks. So that'll start soon. That's what you'll win. So people will dress up their storefronts, and we'll judge that on the 3rd of August. On the 4th of August, for those that are don't like crowds and things, we're going to have a Zoom social. So they can do it online. They can put their cameras on, they can turn them off, and meet their neighbors and just have a good chat in the comfort of their own home, if that makes them feel safe and better. The 5th of August, we're going to have a book club. So we've picked a book, and it's a $25 fee that covers the book and some refreshments. It'll be at the Books Better bookshop with the author. So the author will be there to discuss the book as well. The 6th, we're going to hold a games night, like board games, at the Falls Food Hub, which is a no-charge event, but always donations are welcome. So there'll be different board games, card games, coffee, tea, and some other refreshments. The 7th, there'll be a quiet dinner at Sip Bistro. And for those that want to attend, $35 per person. And that gives you some appies, super salad, a pizza bar, coffee, tea, and a pop. And of course, if you want alcohol, you just buy that on top of that. So just a quiet place to sit and actually have dinner and a conversation where it's not too loud. The 8th, we're going to do the parade. It'll be a walking parade. We'll start here. We'll go down. We'll cross our lovely new bridge into the park. So we're going to have, and in the park, we're going to have a stage with various entertainers instead of just a band. We're going to kind of open it up to almost like an open mic. So if somebody wants to do poetry reading, somebody wants to sing, somebody wants to dance, we're also going to have a family-friendly drag show on that stage. There'll be vendors, food trucks, a beer garden, a kids section. So that'll all happen down at the park. And in the evening, Bowie's is going to have their drag bingo. Or if you are more interested in a dance drag show at the Legion, it's put on by us and DE Productions. And that's, I think, just $20 to get in. So really well priced for that. And that'll be, they're calling it the after party. So for those that like to dance and loud music and all that stuff. The 9th in the afternoon, we're hoping to have a movie at the Station Theatre to end out our Pride. And after the Pride raising, when I have a bit more time, I'm in the process of building an online app. So that'll go out and people can scan the QR code and it'll list all the events. And then you can just click on it and it'll take you right to the form to fill out and register or just get information on where is it accessible, how can I do this, how can I do that. So it's just, I had it have 45% built and it crashed on me, so I have to start from the beginning again. So that's Pride in a nutshell. I'm hoping for a great week, little less hate than we've gotten this week.
That's a lot accomplished in a little over a month, right?
It is, and we've tried to do it at bare minimum cost. I mean, next year will be a little different if we can get the committee we can fundraise throughout the year, little bits here and there, and we can do it bigger, better, maybe have a car parade or something. We're just very, very minimal funding. So everything costs and everybody wants everything for free. So we're trying to we're trying to have a happy medium, right? Like $20 to go to a dance drag show, I think is incredibly reasonable. $35 for a sit down dinner is great. So we've tried to keep the prices very low.
And we're happy to sponsor the barbecue.
Yes, that's
Creative for us
amazing.
this
I-
weekend.
I love that. And yeah, I think that'll be, and yeah, we got the, hopefully it'll go in the rain, but it's a big balloon backdrop that was, she donated her time and her artistic ability to make that for us. So it costs us nothing because people want something behind for their pictures.
And high probability of rain or possibility of rain.
Oh, not that high, 80%.
Wired 40.
Okay, well, maybe it's changed. I don't know. I
Yes.
checked yesterday. It said 80.
What am I saw 40?
Okay, good. It's going down. Maybe it'll just go away.
It will, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Way to go, Dan. Thank you for bringing on our
thank you.
parade.
Yeah, for raining on my parade.
95.
Warm rain.
It will be warm
Yes.
rain, 29 degrees that day.
The weather will be great. So all you need is an umbrella to
Okay.
keep the rain off you, and it'll be fine.
We're going to buy rainbow umbrellas in town. We need to.
Yeah, that,
Really? Like that would be.
yeah. I'll have to look around and see. It's going to be a good time, I think.
Awesome. Any questions for Janet? Yeah, Ellie.
I was just gonna comment and say, just in terms of your app website, I know Big Brothers Big Sisters has a reigniting something, I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Okay.
But it's all about kind of LGBTQ plus resources throughout Lander County. So they might be able to kind of help you with that, or be able to promote that or share.
Yeah, they might, because I think I can turn it into, it can either be a link or a QR code, I think. I can do that as well.
They just have like a whole website already built, I know.
Okay, maybe I just throw them over my information and say, put it
I just
in.
sent you the.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any further on Pride? Hopefully we can all be there on Saturday to
Saturday, yeah.
celebrate.
11 o'clock is when it flag goes up.
Yeah.
Get your arm muscles going.
Well, it's now this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's-
Well, look
it's a
at
new
that.
goal. Anyway, hopefully we can look everything go well. Okay, nothing further on that. Like the Lander County, this is update item 6. There's no correspondence items. Any other comments from anybody on any relevant topics? No? Okay, look for motion for adjournment. Moved by Ellie, seconded by Diana. All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.